After finishing my military service, I decided to get a higher education at a reputable university. While I was waiting for the start of the admission process, I attended preparatory courses and also found a job in one of the companies in a technical position. Interestingly, the company had a predominantly female staff. I interacted pleasantly with my coworkers and even flirted with a few girls. However, there was one woman who caught my eye, Aunt Margaret. She was about 12 years older than me, had a stunning physique and a beautiful face. Aunt Margaret was divorced and seemed to have a carefree personality, although I couldn't be sure of that. One day there was a holiday event at the town lake, and everyone decided to go to it. We had a great time, drinking beer in large quantities. I enjoyed the beer like it was my last chance in life to drink it. As the event came to an end, Aunt Margaret and I found ourselves in the same cab heading home. The beer had taken its toll, and I desperately wanted to go to the bathroom. As we pulled up to her house, I plucked up the courage to admit my predicament, asking if I could use her bathroom since I wouldn't make it home in time. Without hesitation, she agreed and welcomed me into her home. Well, with the beer being free and all, I may have gone a little overboard with it. We arrived quickly and entered her apartment. After getting out of the bathroom, I started looking for her in the two-bedroom apartment. I found her in the bedroom, sitting on the bed. I said goodbye to her, kissing her on the cheek. She took my hands in hers, looked into my eyes, and asked, "Are you leaving? Don't you like me at all?" I was a little surprised by this, but I assured her that I had liked her very much from the very first time I met her. And so began my relationship with Margaret. On Monday during lunch at work, Margaret came up to me and said, "As soon as you finish eating, come to that door over there. We have a warehouse where we store packing materials." I quickly finished my meal and headed for the door. Margaret joined me. We walked in and she opened one of the doors leading to a long hallway. The room was filled with stacks and rolls of cardboard and other materials. Margaret closed the door and mentioned that lunch break would be over soon, so we needed to hurry. I didn't need to explain twice. I understood right away. I enjoyed spending time with Margaret, both at her home and at work, where we often had privacy. As time went on, however, our meetings became less and less frequent. Eventually, things faded, the passion waned, and I decided to concentrate on my studies. Eventually, our relationship came to an end. Despite this, I still think of Margaret from time to time, because the moments we shared were truly special and unforgettable. As my stay with Aunt Margaret drew to a close, I could not shake the memory of our tumultuous affair. The passion we shared, the secret meetings, among the boxes, at work, and the bittersweet end of our relationship sounded like a haunting melody in my mind. Back at university, I plunged headlong into my academic pursuits, determined to focus on my future and put the past behind me. However, no matter how hard I tried to bury the memories of Aunt Margaret, they surfaced like waves crashing against the shore, relentless and unrelenting. As the months passed, I became more and more absorbed in my studies, buried in books and lectures, trying to drown out the echoes of our time together. But deep down, some part of me craved the excitement, the thrill of the forbidden romance that had once consumed me. One day, as I sat in the university library over my textbooks, there was a familiar scent in the air that awakened something in me. I looked up, and there she was, Aunt Margaret, standing in front of me, a wistful smile playing on her lips. "Hi," she said softly, a tinge of nostalgia in her voice. "I've been thinking about you." Surprised and caught off guard, I struggled to find the words. Memories came flooding back, the laughter, the loving glances, the moments of intimacy we shared. Despite the passage of time, the bond between us had not faded. We sat down at a nearby table, and Aunt Margaret began to talk. She spoke of our shared love, of the passion that had ignited between us, and of the inevitable end that separated us. As she spoke, I felt a surge of conflicting emotions, longing, regret, and a glimmer of hope. Could it be that our story isn't over yet, that we still have a chance to rewrite the ending? In that moment, surrounded by the quiet whispers of the library, I made a decision. I reached out to Aunt Margaret, took her hand in mine, and whispered, "Maybe it's not too late for us. Maybe we can start over, write another chapter in our story." Aunt Margaret's eyes glistened with tears, and in this shared moment of weakness, we found comfort in each other's presence. The past may have been filled with mistakes and missteps, but the future promised redemption and second chances. And as we sat there, two souls entwined by fate and circumstance, I realized that our love story was far from over. It was a story of resilience, forgiveness, and the enduring power of love to transcend time and space. And with Aunt Margaret by my side, I was ready to begin a new chapter filled with hope, possibility, and an unwavering belief that love in all its forms will always find a way to triumph.